But then something extraordinary happened. I felt someone tapping me on the shoulder to my left. I looked to my left, and there I was glancing at this fine-looking girl.
'Cause I'm not worth it.
Welcome back everyone, my name is Clyde, otherwise known as Jacker's Edit. So, what is a woman? Let me tell you and explain to you so that we can all be aligned with the same teachings and there's no miscommunications. You all know where I'm coming from in this video. One thing I like to do whenever I'm out in the bars and clubs is that I like to interact with people there. Besides seeing my friends, I like to expand on my social circle by talking to guys and girls in the venues. I mean, if I want to see my friends, then I could easily see them during the day and we go out and take pics together. That's why I have so many Instagram pictures. But what is a woman? Let me see. Let me think. What is a woman? A woman is an exploration of the consciousness and ideas that's worth looking into, decoding, understanding, and is a mirror for me to take a look at my own strengths and weaknesses and insecurities, you could say, and connections and disconnections I have with the opposite sex. I think that a woman, the female energy, is that perfect instrument and is a mirror to my own soul and mind. I mean, everything a guy does, there will always be a woman involved. You girls are like his form of energy. The reason why he continues to do what he does is because of you. I mean, think of the army. A soldier would risk his life to save his country. Think of the NHS, the nurses and doctors, and they would risk their own life to save others. A woman can save lives too. Yes, they can. This is why I say a woman is a mirror to my own soul and mind. Now, before I continue, I want to give you 3 quick disclaimers. 1, do not take anything I say seriously. I am just an entertainer. 2, follow the rules of the land that you are living in. Be a good citizen. I do not promote criminal-like behaviors. I'm a good citizen. And 3, be an adult as you watch me. If you get offended by swear words, then turn this video off. I haven't sworn yet. And if you're a child, again, turn this video off. I am not for you. I'm teaching adults. So this video is all about finding out her core values. To do this, you need to ask her a series of questions that will revolve around going towards her core values. These questions aren't just random, they are all connected to each other that will lead up to her core value. But what the fuck is a core value anyway? Core value in this definition is that thing that she is trying to get in her life. It's that thing that she is aiming to acquire in her life. That's what I mean by core values. So, before this lockdown, I was invited to a good friend of mine's birthday party. We celebrated in Swansea. Okay, before I continue with that story, I want to tell you that this material is fairly new to me. I learned this from my teacher, Neil Strauss, who I study. He's the author of the book The Game, and he is also a social scientist who has mastered the arts of communication. Shout out to Arash Dibazar over there. I also learned from him. He is my teacher of life. I know you could all laugh, but we all have like some musicians that we look up to that, hey, their songs saved my life. You know, that's what you're going to be telling to your favorite artist. Well, I have my own teachers. They are like my music to my world. Alright, so yeah, I was invited to a good friend of mine's birthday party we celebrated in Swansea before the lockdown. And there were 3 locations that night that we went to. First location was the house party. Here we call it Prees. Prees is that place where you celebrate with your friends or people in a house party, and that's where you take your drinks and all that. So you don't have to buy expensive drinks in the bars and clubs, which saves you money when you're drinking with your friends in the house. In America, you guys would probably call this frat party. Basically, there was 3 guys, me and my 2 mates, and the rest of the people there were my friend's classmates. They were all girls, and one of the girls there decided to host a party at her place, which she was kind enough to do that and invite us all over. Okay, I have high respect for these people because the moment I walked into that room, they all had great energy in them and they were very welcoming. And I have respect for them because at the end of that night, after the club, they were actually waiting for me outside in the cold while I was still in the club. So huge respect for these people. I have nothing against them. So that's basically first location in Prees in the house party. And then we went to the second location, which is the bar, Jack Murphy's to be more specific. And then third location was the main club in Swansea, which is Fiction. But asking these girls the core value questions, there was 2 girls that I asked these questions to. It happened in the bar in Jack Murphy's, second location. What happened was my friends and the girls, they were playing pool, and I saw another group near the bar area, which I decided to approach them. All right, there were 2 girls, they were next to each other. It was very clear that they were friends because they were literally standing so close to each other compared to the other people in their group. And one of the girls saw me as I approached their direction. She looked at me, and so I gave them a friendly smile and wave, and I said hi. One of the girls waved back, she smiled, and she said hi back. And naturally, her friend who was standing beside her turned around to see what she was looking at, and she saw me, she also waved back. Okay, and that's when I decided to open them. I asked them that simple question, the opening question. If you guys haven't seen my other video on how you can open a set, I'll leave a link in a card right above here, so you can jump to that on how you can open a set, how you can open a group of people. So I opened them up, and then eventually I was chatting with one of the girls there, and that's when I asked her the core value questions. However, it wasn't long until her friend decided to call her over and say, hey, we're leaving now. I wasn't able to ask her the complete series of questions about core values. So in a way, I lost that set, but luckily, a few minutes later, after my friends and the girls that I was with in that group finished playing pool, they decided to sit on a table near the bar. All right, and I was chatting with them for a bit. There was like six people that could only sit in that table, and I was at the end of the table, standing up and chatting to them in the same time. But then something extraordinary happened. I felt someone tapping me on the shoulder to my left. I looked to my left, and there I was glancing at this fine-looking girl. In my eyes, I saw her, if I was to rate her, I saw her to be an 8 out of 10. Okay, 10 being the best. She was fine-looking from body to face. And this only made me curious about her. So she asked me if she could borrow my hat, because at that moment I was actually wearing a hat. Now, to some people, you might think this was an accident, that she decided to approach me and tap me on the shoulder and ask for my hat, that I just got lucky. In a way, I did in a way get lucky, but me being a social creature, I've already analyzed this, and it wasn't an accident. No, it was not an accident at all. In fact, I was waiting for these moments to happen. There were 3 reasons why this random, fine-looking girl decided to approach me. Meanwhile, I was talking to these girls, all right, the girls on the table. First reason was simple. I was wearing a suit that night. Now it's very clear that when a girl sees someone wearing a suit, they become fascinated. And it's clear that she was fascinated because there was not a single guy in that bar that was wearing what I was wearing. So immediately that sets me apart from the rest of the guys in the bar. And this would create fascination to the woman who would see you wearing something different. When you wear something different, you immediately make yourself unique, and it separates you from the rest of the guys who are wearing the same thing all the time. This was something she wasn't familiar in seeing. At least there was not any guys in that bar that I recalled who was wearing a suit. Okay, this in the mystery method is called peacocking. I speak in high details about peacocking in my previous video. I'll link it up here again in the card so you can jump to that after this video. But basically, to save you from jumping to that video, peacocking is when you attract the woman without saying anything based on what you are wearing. Alright, so that's first reason. Second reason is because I was already in a set. I was already chatting with a group of girls there. She saw me with a group of girls already. And so this is called pre-selection. Pre-selection is when a girl sees that you're already cool with a group of girls, and so automatically that makes you a lot more attractive to her eyes. Because get this, a married man, this is the reason why a married man and a guy who has a girlfriend is considered more attractive to the girl's eyes when he has a woman in his life. Alright? Why? Because he is already pre-selected by other women. Okay? If you weren't selected, if you were alone and you didn't have any girls around you, you're not considered as desirable as that guy who has other women surrounding him. So immediately I knew that this was pre-selection at work. That's the second reason why she approached me. Again, I talk highly about pre-selection in this video, how to talk to girls, somewhere in my link. I'll put it in the description if you guys want to see it as well. And the third reason was very simple. I had something that she was lacking in her life. She was asking for my hat. A hat is a form of prop. Now, if you have a prop with you, this is very good to have to engage in a dialogue with a person. Okay? A hat is a prop, a scarf is a prop, a necklace is a prop. You could take your necklace and wrap it around hers. And now she's wearing something that belongs to you. There's more obligation for her to actually stick around and talk to you and interact with you. Those were the three reasons why she decided to approach me. 1, I was wearing something unique, which fascinated her. 2, I was surrounded with girls, which pre-selection had made her even more attracted to me. And 3, I was wearing a prop, something that she was lacking in her life. She asked me if she could borrow my hat, and I asked her what her situation was, why, and the reason why was because she was wearing her friend's hat all along, but then her friend decided to take it off her. Okay, and now she's looking for another hat, someone who could give her a hat, and there she saw me, and I was more approachable. Okay, I was more approachable because of those 3 reasons. I asked, okay, and then I said to her, say the magic word. And she was like, pretty please. And then I gave her my hat. Okay, I was wearing a bucket hat. Can you believe that? A guy wearing a suit and then wearing a bucket hat. In a house party, we had a specific theme to wear a bucket hat and groovy glasses. That's why I took my bucket hat with me, and I had my shades with me that night as well. But yeah, as soon as she wore it, she looked like some sort of character in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I even said that to her, you look like a pirate, and she repeated that. And so this was when I realized, hey, I could easily open this girl now. Okay, there's high levels of indicator of interests. And so I opened her up using the material that I did in my other video, how to open a set, how to talk to girls Go watch that video if you want to know how I opened her. So I opened her up, and then the second thing I did was I knew I had to build comfort. All right, I already attracted her, so it's time to build comfort. There's 3 stages when you're trying to get with a woman. First stage is attraction. This is in the mystery method, by the way. Second stage is comfort, building comfort. And third stage is seduction. I've already surpassed the first stage, which was comfort, the 3 reasons, and then the opener, that's attraction. And then now it's my turn to build comfort. The mistake that most guys do whenever they're interacting with women, which is what I've noticed, is guys tend to build comfort with her before he could even attract her to him in the first place. You know what this causes? This causes awkwardness in the communication, because it's clear that she's not attracted to him, but he's trying to build comfort with her. She will think he's a creep because he's trying to build comfort with her, and that she's not even attracted to him. So it's essential, you guys, whenever you're interacting with a woman or with a set, is that you attract them to you first. Okay, you attract them to you first. That's the first stage. Second stage is to build comfort. And this is what the core value questions is all about. Core value questions is what's going to build comfort between you and the girl that you're in dialogue with. Am I making sense here? I know I'm talking a little bit too much, but it's very clear that I'm very passionate about this. Alright, so it begins by, how did I do this anyway? Alright, as I was talking to her, attracting her, I told her, well, first off, you need to ask her, you need to tell her that you're curious about her. You're curious to find out her core values. And that's what I said. Oh, you're curious about me. Yeah, I'm curious to find out your core values. Okay, do you see these people? No, that's not what I said. I said, do you see? Nope, that's not what I said. Look around you, Sophie. Pretend her name was Sophie. I completely forgot her name. I didn't get her Instagram that night. Look around you, Sophie. And then she looked around. What do you see? I was like a sensei here, like a wushu master. What do you see in the reflection of the water? Look around you, Sophie. What do you see? She was like really playful, because she had that energy as she said, oh, I see people here, people dancing and bartenders. And then I said to her, yes, I see people too. And I see beauty everywhere. Now, I'm not the compliment type, but I see beautiful women everywhere here in this venue. You are one of them. And she smiled a bit and she said, thank you. She giggles, right? She blushed. And then I said to her, but what's more important is that quality of the person, is the connections and energy that I have with the person that I'm talking to. So let me ask you this simple question, Sophie. And you need to be dead serious with me. No bullshitting now, alright? And she's like, alright. What's that one quality you would like to have in your life besides your looks? And she was like, oh, I don't know. If a girl says, I don't know, you ask her this question. If your friends were to talk about you, they'd remember you as this girl with this quality. What quality would that be? And then that gave her a rough idea of what quality she wanted. Besides looks, she said, I wanted to be... what the fuck she said? She said something not... honesty. She wanted to be more honest. Okay, good. So it... completely lost my train of thoughts. One sec, guys. Honesty. Okay, and then I said to her, and what does honesty allow you to do? And if a girl says, I don't know, you ask her, what do you like to do? Well, I like to be around my friends, hang around with my friends, and spend time with my family. And then I said, okay, so if you had more honesty, you'd be able to build better friendships and have better bonds with your family. And she was like, yes, that's right. And I said to her, can you describe the perfect scenario of the time you were with good company? And she explained the fact that whenever she's with her friends, they like to go out in gigs together. They go out and see concerts, Reading. Yeah, she goes to Reading and spends time with her family. Like she was telling me about the time she was riding her bike and her father was helping her, and basically all those nice stuff, all right? And then I asked her this finale question, and how does that make you feel? It makes me feel good. No, really think about it. What's the emotion you get whenever you're with good company with these people? And then she was like, oh, I get it now. It makes me feel like I belong somewhere and that I'm comfortable being around them. Boom, right there. You just decoded her and found out her core values. One sec, guys, it's past 20 minutes. The camera's gonna go off any second now. I'll restart this. Now, when you're in dialogue with her, what you don't want to do is you don't want to keep building comfort with her. Eventually, you'll need to break the rapport that you have with her. You need to break the communication lines that you have with her. If it's not you breaking the communication lines, it'd be her or her friends, and that will consider you to look weak. All right, it just makes you look incompetent the moment she tells you, all right, let's stop talking, I want to go over there now. All right, so it needs to be you, the guy who opened her up and the guy who ends the conversation. And you do this by saying to her something like, all right, you're losing me, which is what I did. Eventually I said to her, all right, you're losing me. But before I did that, I also said to her after that, I said to her, tell you what, Sophie, I'm gonna go over there with my friends and you can go over there with your friends. I'll find you a guy and you'll find me a girl. Deal? Deal. Boom, fist bump, and I walked away. Went back to my friends who were playing pool. And she walked back to her friends near the bar area. And just by that, it immediately triggers in her head that you don't want anything out of her, all right? You certainly don't want to bed her that night. That's the impression that you're getting. That's not what she's getting, sorry. She's not getting the impression that you want something out of her. The fact that you said, I'll find you a guy and you'll find me a girl. Deal? Boom. It's almost like you friend-zoned her, okay? Which actually it is. You friend-zoned her at this moment. But there's also a good thing about this. The next time you see each other again, you encounter each other again, if she's still wearing your prop, my hat in this case, then the next time you see each other again, she will be a lot more open to you. She'll be a lot more open to talk to you and perhaps even be more excited to see you, because the rest of the guys, right? No guys in that venue would even ask her about her core values. They wouldn't even get to that point of building comfort. She needs to get attracted to them first before they can build comfort. But at this point, no guys would ask her about these core value questions and build comfort with her. So what does that make you? It makes you more valuable to her eyes. Now, what the mistake that most guys do, again, when they're trying to build comfort, is they compliment her on how she looks all the freaking time, and you know where that path goes down to. It makes her believe that he wants something out of her. But the fact that you're asking her about her core values, the quality of that person, her personality, all right, that sets you differently in communications than most guys. Okay, most guys' communication are very blunt. They're very, very blunt. But you do something different than most guys, even based on how you're talking, not just by what you're wearing. Now there's one thing you also have to understand. Let me say that again. Now there's one thing you also have to understand. You need to keep it real. You need to keep it humorous, and don't be too serious. If I was to see you in dialogue with a girl, right, and it looks like you two are having such a serious conversation, right? You two are like, your faces are so serious, no one's smiling, no one's laughing, and it just looks like you're having a hard time. Eventually what's going to happen is she's going to realize that she's out with her friends and alcohol is involved. She'll come to the realization that she's out here to have fun. These girls are out here to have fun. They're not out here to get lectured by some random fucker and tell her, hey, this is what your core value is. No, you need to keep it humorous, you need to keep it real, and don't be too serious, okay? And after you've built comfort, break the rapport and tell her, alright, you're losing me. Alright, we're so broken up. Okay, I don't think you and I are gonna get along. I'm gonna go with my friends again and you can go with your friends. But to realize that she's wearing your hat, or you could give her your necklace at this point and say, are you a thief? No, I'm not a thief. Alright, then the next time we see each other, you put your necklace on her. I want this back the next time I see you. Alright? You give her a form of trust. Okay? That's what really prop does as well. When you give something that belongs to you, not only will she associate your item as you, she'll think about you, but you are trusting her with your belongings. And trust, we all know, is a form of, trust is something that we all desire, we all want. You don't want to be with a person that's not trustworthy. I talk highly about trust in my other video. If you want to watch that, how to build trust, it's very powerful. I promise you're going to learn something of value from that video. Anyways, to conclude, you got to realize that if you want to ask her these core value questions, you first need to attract her before you could move on to building comfort. Some of the ways that you can attract her towards you is based on what you're wearing, who you're with, social proof, pre-selection, and owning something that she's lacking in her life, such as a prop. And then once you've attracted her enough times, you can open her up through words. After you've opened her up, then you can build comfort by asking her these core value questions. I'm curious about you. I'm curious to find out your core values. What's that one thing that you would like to have in your... Let me rephrase that. I see beauty everywhere. There's lots of beautiful women in this venue. You are one of them. But what's more important is the quality of the person. What's that one quality you would like to have in your life? And it can't be anything to do with your looks. I don't know what... if your friends were to talk about you, they'll remember you as that girl with this quality. What quality would that be? Loyalty. Okay, and what does loyalty allow you to do? I don't know. What do you like to do? I like to be around my family and my friends. Okay, so if you're with your family or friends, the more loyalty you have, the better social circle you have with your family and friends. Yes. Can you describe the perfect scenario of when you are with good company with your friends? We went to gigs together, we go to Reading, we do all the girly shit, fucking do makeup with each other, pillow fights, I don't give a fuck what she says. You quote her, and then you ask her this question. How does that make you feel? It makes me feel good. No, really think about it. What's the emotion you get whenever you're with these people? It makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel like I belong somewhere. It makes me feel non-empty inside. Boom! That's the core value. That's her core value. You could say something like, people go on Instagram to be famous. People go to the city to get that high income job. That's what they think they want. But that's not what they really want. Let me say that again. You see these people on Instagram, yeah? They post pictures because they think they want to be famous. They go to the city because they think they want to have a high-end career. They think they want to go to this university. But that's not what they really want. That's what they think they want. But what they really want is that feeling of comfort inside. What they really want is that feeling of non-emptiness, that feeling of belonging. That's why they want to be famous. That's why they want to have that high-end career. That's why they want to go to uni. They just want to have that feeling in them. You're quoting her at this point. You're quoting her words. So that's how you could find her core values. Obviously, you could tell her that, hey, every time, it's funny that you say that, every time you say that, you smile for a second, you went into that motion, your eyebrows raised, your nose is twitching every time you laugh. Hey, you're doing it again. Okay? You could die now, it doesn't get any better than this. Ha! And then eventually, as you continue talking, you need to break the rapport, you need to break the communication line and tell her, alright, you're losing me. So that the next time you see each other again, she'll be a lot more excited to talk to you. Get it? Get it, guys? Am I making sense to you? It's funny because later on that night, I was in fiction, and meanwhile, my friends and the girls that we were with were dancing, right? I decided to separate myself from them and just stand near the bar area. There was a bar here, and I was standing by here, and there was like a row of table all connected to each other where you could put your drinks on or you could lean on it. I was basically on it, leaning on that little table, sipping my drink, and I saw a set of people there. Before I was about to approach them, I was met by this random girl, right? There was plenty of people there that night that recognized me. One girl that I recognized, that I see around in Bridgend, she even told me, hey, I see you everywhere. And I was like, what are you doing here? Following me around? All right. We had a brief conversation, but then this random girl approached me, right, while I was just enjoying my time there. And she looked fine, all right? She looked fine. She dressed well. She did her hair. Her makeup was fantastic, all right? And she complimented me on what I was wearing, my suit. Most guys would say, thank you, and then they'd compliment the girl back, okay? But I didn't do that. That's what most guys do. I didn't want to be like most guys. I asked her this question. What is it about me that you... Oh, sorry. My hair. What is it about what I'm wearing that you liked? And then she started to explain herself to me. She said, I like that you're really well dressed compared to every other guys here in this venue. You look so smart, and it's the most well dressed guy in the club. That's literally her words to me. And then I saw this as a huge IOI, an indicator of interest, and so I decided to open her up with the routine that I already learned, that I knew. And eventually, because she was waiting for her friend to get her drinks, she eventually had to leave. But before she did, she did an offer and asked me if I wanted to take a picture with her. All right? And I was thinking, I looked at her, all in silent. At this point, she was like 2 meters of distance away from me. She looked at me, and then I asked her again. No, I didn't ask her, I just looked at her. And then she asked me again, do you want to take a picture? But this time she lifted her hand. I saw her lift her hand for a second, and she did this with her finger as if she's pressing a button to take a picture. And I thought that was pretty adorable as she did that emote of, do you want to take a picture? And then I said to myself, all right, fuck it, come here. She came around me, I whipped out my phone, and then we took a picture together. And then, funnily enough, her friend decided to join. It was so funny. So funny. Alright, you can find that on my Instagram. Shout out to you, Liv, and your friends. I thought you were great company. You were really fun to be around with. And if I ever see you again out and about, you have my high respect, and along with the people I met during that night. Okay? So that's basically it for this video. I have nothing else to say. There are a couple of video ideas, but that's basically what I wanted you to take in this video. Core values. If you learned something of value, go ahead and leave a like, share this with your friends, and I hope you have a wonderful lockdown time. My name is Clyde, and I represent Jackers Edit, as well as the people in Cardiff all the way to Swansea and along those towns within those areas such as Bridgend. As Arash Dibazar said, my teacher of all times, be the best and fuck the rest. Peace.
She's cold now like the chill in the winter. I'm empty like a hole from a splinter. We fold now like a photo of the time that we spent. We cross paths but our minds never center. I feel bad but I tell her never better. Don't know why but I feel like time came and then went.